Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun.
All right, well, we got everything done. We drilled that 5/8 hole. What I have to do now, just trim off a little bit of this outside, contour that a little bit, you know, just to kind of, so that there's, just in case there's a room problem, and cut out, get rid of the rough edges. And the main thing is come in and put that taper in. Now, we're going to show you the, so we got just a little bit bigger than 5/8 here. And then you turn it around, and of course it looks like about 3/4. Now that's a specific tapered reamer that you can buy, and I guess I'm going to have to buy one because I don't have it. And I can't think of a way to put this in any machine that's gonna that's gonna cut a taper. So we're going to get that reamer, and that's going to probably take 3 or 4 days. And then we will come back to this project. Now, probably I'm going to have to take this out, but I'm going to leave it in for now, just in case. But in any case, when I do the reamer, I have to come in from the other side. So it's a lost cause. We can just take this out and fiddle with it in other ways. As my wife wants to take me into, it's Saturday morning, she wants to take me into town to the local farmers market and say, you know, I don't go with her that often. I got a little bit of extra time. Hey, why not make the woman happy, right? Okay, I'll see you in a couple of days. So my customer said he was going to bring the positive of this hole, this tapered hole here, and he hasn't done that yet. And so I want to continue forward with this project because I have other things to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of clay without plastic on it. And we're going to jam it in that hole. Ah, there we go. And then kind of get it to really form into that hole, and maybe even just cut this off. There we go. Really push it into the hole. Get a good pattern from it. Of course, getting it back out of the hole might be a problem. Let's try trimming this back a bit. Take a piece of 5-inch stock, 5/8. There we go. Of course, I messed it up coming back out. There we go. There it is. Okay. There's our plug. And there's our taper. So we'll set that down for now. Then let's see what the next step is. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is figure out what the taper is. As far as I can tell, I bring this down. It looks to me like that is the exact taper that we're looking for. Now what I want to do is mark, well, not with that pin, obviously. Okay, we're going to mark where the taper starts and where it stops. Let's bring this down so we can see it. And I don't think we're going to be able to get anything going here, but it's worth a try. There it is right there. I'd say that looks pretty good. Let's flip it. A little bit less. Just about right there. Now the problem is, of course, it's reading it on the other side of the zero, but I think I can kind of get a measurement. And then transfer that measurement over. Somewhere right in there. Looks like we're sitting at right at 5 degrees. Now that's the whole taper, so we want 2.5 degrees to get our shape. Now that's going to work out okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a plug of steel at 2.5 degrees and then test it out and see how it fits. So we'll be back. Okay, let's measure the hole in the end here first. And we're sitting at 640. And we still got a ways to go. Probably 100 thousandths. 50 thousandths. Okay. Alright, we're 5 thousandths under, that's where we should be. Let's give it a try. That is, if I can find my original rod. Oh, there it is. Okay. Clean out the interior, drop it on here, and there is a bunch of slop. So we've got I mean, this is basically, we're doing trial and error because I don't know any other way of approaching this. We could just get rid of that. Okay, another piece of metal. So that gives us a 6-degree taper. All right, let's give it a try. Still a little bit, much less, but a little bit. Okay. Move it in a little closer. So we're at 3 degrees right now. Let's take it to 4. Which makes it an 8-degree taper. We'll just take that further on. That's not good. I don't know what the heck that is. It's like this little casting right in here is catching it. Well, that's easily resolved. We'll come in with a chainsaw file. Take that back a little bit. Well, it turns out that it's the wrong thickness of insert, so I had to put a little shim in there. Well, that should work out fine. Where are we at? Oh, that's right. We want to turn this. Well, during this whole back and forth process, we had to change the degree, like a 1/4 of a degree one way or the other, until we got this thing to fit just right. All right, well, I think that's just about it. And we are sitting at 3 and maybe 3/4 degrees. Okay, well, I think, and I went and checked, and there are tie rod reamers that are 7 1/4 degrees, and there are tie rod reamers that are 8 1/2 degrees, and there are no tie rod reamers that are 7 1/2 degrees. So we're going to have to, you know, step back and make a left turn here and find another way of doing this. Now, the only other way I can see to approach it is to come in, turn this upside down, get it in position. First, of course, center the rotary table. Get this in position, centered, and then kick the head over 3 7/8 degrees. And then probably, and it just so happens that this shaft here that I turned earlier, and we're not sure how accurate it is, but it does fit perfectly, well, almost perfectly, and you know, within a 1/2 degree or so, down inside of this hole. So we can kind of drop this in, and actually it gets looser down here, but we can drop it in here and take a measurement from that and put an indicator on it and get you know, get the degrees just right. Luckily I made this piece, because without it I'm not sure what I would do. So first thing we're going to do is center our rotary table on the mill, and we'll go from there. Okay. So we're going to just keep wiggling around until we get closer. Oops. Tripod's hitting. Let's readjust you. Okay. And we are dead center there. Now, we have to come in and set this up so that it's dead center. And luckily I drilled a hole in there using these flats, so we've at least got a square hole to work from. And we're going to go with 5/8. It's in here somewhere. There it is. Take our 5/8 center transfer punch and put a collet in here. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to bring this in. Let's bring the table up. Yeah, you can still see. All right. There's our center. We'll hold that, come in and put a clamp here and maybe a spacer under here and a clamp here, and we may have what we need. All right, that's going to give us something. Not quite far enough though. Boy, I really want to keep it in that groove though. Yeah, maybe it'll work. Okay, we've got one clamp in place, somewhat. Let's make sure we're still... No, we're not. We want to be able to kind of slide it back and forth on that. And I got two metal wedges here. I think I can just slide them underneath like that. Oh, I saw a lot of movement there. That's pretty much what we're looking for. I'll get those wedges just a little bit. Ooh, that didn't work. Ah, threw the whole thing off. Okay, we'll be back once we set well, it turned out that the two wedges weren't parallel with each other, or weren't equal with each other. So every time which means that this top platform here wasn't level. So every time I tried to tighten this damn thing up, it would tweak it a little bit and just throw it off. Now, nice smooth action all the way down. Oh, I like it. All right, well, I got everything all set up and I spun this around, and sure as hell the shaft hit the back of the mill. So I had to bring the head out and bring this out. Now, the cool part is this is already centered, so I just literally just came straight back out. And it dropped right in the hole, just like it was supposed to. All right, so now what we want to do is we're going to put a mill bit in here, maybe a little bit smaller one. And, oh damn, I didn't take my test. Well, okay, I think we're okay. Because there's lots of room here. So then what I can do is, I mean, I know that it's 7.5 degrees. The entire thing is 7.5 degrees. So that's 7 3/4 degrees, 3 7/8, or somewhere in there. We'll figure that out as we get to it. So then I I drop it down in. I'm probably just going to have to cut this off and make my cut, drop it in, test it, and see if it's the wiggle is right, just like I did on the lathe over there. And just keep testing it and changing the degrees just slightly until we get it. Because I definitely don't want to take this apart again and slide that down there and try to get my angle right. So of course I should have done that first, but somehow it slipped by. All right, so we have a nice smooth 5/8 hole, and that's going to be good for there. And so next thing we want to do is kick this head over 3 3¾ How can we do that? Just trying to work it out, because you can't use the degree wheel. Well, you know, I could use the degree wheel, but it's not going to be accurate, and I want it somewhat accurate. So we're going to well, there, that's not too bad. I mean, we're not gonna be precision here, but we will be close. So 90, get my cheater glasses for this part. One, 2, 3 3/4, and that takes us over there. So basically, we could just kind of line up to that, and I think we've got it. Set ourselves on 0, bring it out, or bring the table in, and there we are. So now we just rotate it over until we get there. Okay, take our center finder or center punch out, transfer punch. I mean, eventually I get it. Usually around 2 in the morning I wake up and go, oh yeah, it was